Free agency is always fun in the NBA because there's always some things that you don't quite expect that end up happening. In this case, I, for one, didn't have Donovan Mitchell going back to the Cleveland Cavaliers. With me, Steve-O, and Bobby, we're going to break it down and more right after this.
Welcome to the number one place for your daily basketball news and analysis, NBA Central.
What's going on, basketball fans? Welcome to another episode of NBA Central, your number one spot for everything basketball related. Steve-O, Bobby, Donovan Mitchell staying in that godforsaken city of Cleveland on a 3-year, a little over $150 million deal. Now, this is kind of unexpected. A lot of the conversation around Donovan Mitchell and the Cavs has been about them possibly going a different direction this offseason. Now you double down. That doesn't necessarily mean he's going to stay. We've seen kind of in the new NBA, a lot of times players lock in their contract extensions so they can get the most money. They could still look to move him later down the road. But how you guys feeling about the deal?
I was gonna say, man, I think okay, like I'm not too mad at it. Get your money, but it is surprising, like you said, because I thought that it was gonna be, Donovan Mitchell probably trying to to be up out of there. He can still be up out of there, but it was reported, I believe, a few months ago that he pretty much the Cavs are looking to him to be the guy that they want to hinge the wagon to. Mm-hmm. So he getting his bread. If it's gonna be his team and move in that direction, I ain't mad at it. Get your money.
For sure, Steve-O.
I'm about to say, it ain't my money. I mean, if that's somebody you want to hit your mag into, go all be my guest. Of course they see something with him. I mean, like you said, I was a little bit shocked because they kind of made it seem like they was going a different direction. Now I feel like because you didn't hit your wagon to this guy, you're looking like he's going to be the future of this franchise. You really gonna have to dig deep and do your homework and get creative on how to make this team build around him the best way possible, because he's one of those players that is a star player, but he's probably one of the most difficult players to build around due to his stature and how he plays. So therefore, I wouldn't have given him for one. Let's talk about the money side of it. That's a little bit of a bargain, seeing how much money other people are making, even at the caliber and production that he's getting. So I thought he was going to at least get upwards of $200 million, but for him to only get what, 150
per,
that's pretty much $1 million per.
Yeah, that's pretty much a nice little bargain for somebody with that productivity. So, I don't really feel no ways towards it. I just realized, to me, like, you just got to do your homework, and it's going to be a little bit more difficult to build around this team properly.
Yeah, I mean, do you guys see, because there's been some talk about him and Darius Garland may not be the right complements next to each other. Now that they've locked him in, do you think that they could look to move Darius Garland instead?
It would be very smart for them to do that. Not only is his value probably at an all-time high, but you could get a lot of that. Could be one of your catalysts to get you to the proper team where you want to build around your star player the correct way. So yeah, me and Bobby were just talking about this before you came on. Like, we thought this wasn't gonna work. We knew that Darius and them throughout the year, we see it while they're playing. It's not working to the best that it can be due to their size, the way they play. They almost similar in the way they approach the game. So if business wise and the team sense, it would make sense. It would behoove them to make that trade for him.
Hey, there's never a time where using the word behoove isn't funny to me. Or maybe I'm just immature. That's fine. I'll take that. But anytime I hear the word behoove, it's always funny to me. But yeah, I mean, especially when you look at maximizing on the value. Darius Garland has 4 years left on his contract. That's including this upcoming season. The most that he's going to get paid is $44 million. He's 30 mil, a little over 36, 39 million the next 2 seasons. So a team, if they do make a trade for Darius Garland, they'll get 4 years of him without having to worry about extending him, giving him a raise, anything. And we typically find it's only being 24 years old too. That's a nice sweet spot between value and still being in your prime. What do you think, Bobby?
Oh, I think that makes perfect sense. And I think that since, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we already know and we can see it. It's I believe you got to make it happen between Mitchell and Garland. You got to go ahead and break that thing up. And when it talks about the money for the opposing team that's going to get them, you're going to get you a nice guard. But the thing is, right now, it's a lot of weirdness going on in the NBA. We trying to figure out how Boston got all his money. We trying to figure out how the Bulls are always hard capped, and we trying to figure out how the hell you ain't getting nothing in return for Alex Caruso, and then y'all let Hardenstein go over there with him. Look, it's a lot of things going on right now, Drip, but it's okay. It's for the love of the game. I just think that going back to topic, when you talk about Donovan Mitchell, you better hope that you can figure out a way to unlock Evan Mobley. And I think that'll make a huge improvement. But you got to start it with Garland for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Like you gotta start looking at some other things you could do with this roster, especially when you see teams around the East getting better. New York Knicks consistently get better every single offseason for like the last 3 years. They've consistently made moves to get better. We've seen the Boston Celtics become the best team in the Eastern Conference, had 14 more wins than anybody else in the league in the East last year. And they're coming off winning the title. Their confidence is going to be high. Jason Tatum just got the richest deal in NBA history at over $300 million. And then the Philadelphia 76ers, while I'm right now, because I haven't seen it, and I'm not ready to put the Philadelphia 76ers over the Cavs per se, but because I'm just somebody who I have to see it, I wouldn't be surprised if they become a better team than the Cavs this year either, if all those moves end up working out. So,
and it's crazy because at least when you look on paper, because if you look on paper, you be like, damn, they got Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, Garland, they added Strus, they got Niang, they got shooters all over, they got Karis LeVert who can come in and give you 30 probably on any given night. You say, damn, this team's supposed to be better. But since we've seen them already, we know they just have some limitations, bro.
There's just something about that team that the makeup doesn't work correct. No, I don't think the Cavs changed coach. Have
they did? The Kenny Atkinson.
You're right. Kenny Atkinson is the new coach there. So I mean, it depends. Like I do think that you have two scoring guards in your backcourt, and I'm not going to go to anybody on the market or anything like that. But like, if you can find somebody who can still shoot, still score some, but can actually run that offense, maybe you can get better out of it. I'm not saying that's the route that they're trying to go, but something has to change at some point. You can only keep running into the same wall so many times.
Yeah, I would be go ahead.
No, I was just about to say, you got history with Colin Sexton.
Maybe
free agent?
And they got a lot. No, but they got a lot of guards over there.
Yeah,
they got a lot of guards over there. So I was like, I could see him getting disgruntled and being like, okay, I'm ready to make a move. And from what Collins give you, pretty much a lockdown defender at the guard position. Can't play the point guard, can't manage the game, and he could be a scorer when you need him to. So I like him more of a fit on Cleveland than I did Garland.
Just as me throwing it out there again, I have not sat there and really like gone through a list or anything. But how do you feel about, even if they don't move on from Garland, but they bring this guy in to see what the system would look like with a more traditional point guard? Still small. But how do you feel about Tyus Jones? Tyus Jones here in Cleveland. He's a free agent.
Oh,
I do it. But
you gotta see something.
I do it. But like, I think because you gonna Tyrus is almost like that player where like you see him have the production on the bench that he has, and then as soon as he get in that starting role, it's like, okay, it's still the same. It's not that different. Yeah. So I think he's just gonna be very well in that role, and they're just gonna keep running what they got. So it might be a nice blend to their team as a whole, more than possibly a replacement piece for their point guard.
Yeah, I was gonna add, like I was kind of shocked. Well, not shocked, but I think it would have been interesting if their names would have came up to be trying to get DeJounte Murray away. I think that would have been real interesting because that's a bigger guard who can, cover for some of the deficiencies of a Donovan Mitchell, and and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? They not the same type of player, but I think they're gonna look at this situation like how Boston look at Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum and be like, we just gonna stick it out. I really believe that's how the Cavs gonna do it unless Donovan Mitchell go upstairs and say, hey, it ain't working.
Yeah.
We'll see, man. It's definitely interesting. We'll see what the Cavs do. They have options. It's not like they don't have young pieces that teams could want. If they do decide to break up this core and maybe change the mix up a little bit there, we'll just have to wait and see if they do it. But overall, solid deal for Donovan Mitchell. It locks him in throughout this, now keeps him there theoretically throughout his prime, but it's still a movable deal if they do decide to go ahead and move on from Donovan Mitchell. So smart all the way around there, in my
facts.
Hope it work out for you.
Any last thoughts, fellas, before we get up out of here?
Tune in, y'all. Hit the like button, subscribe. We're on the way to get that 2K up here.
Y'all can follow us at NBA Central Pod on every social media platform, and we appreciate you guys for tuning in. Like Bobby said, hit that subscribe button, trying to get to 2K. But yeah, that's it for us. We'll see you guys, I'm sure, later today, because I'm sure there's going to be some more crazy news and signings that we just don't expect. So